Hello YouTube and fellow DC Comic fans, I'm Keith One Shot, and today is Wednesday, August 22nd, and you know what that means, it's New Comic Book Day. So I'm going to quickly go over and show you the new comic books that I got today, and the ones I recommend you pick up as well. We're going to start this off with a freebie from Marvel Comics. This is actually Fantastic Four Spotlight issue for the new Fantastic Four #1, which I believe already came out, and it might have been sitting there last week, but I did grab it because it's free and I wanted to check it out and see what's going on Marvel's forefront with the first family of Marvel. So we'll see what happens in that issue when I have time to get around to it. Okay, the next book that I got is Batman Beyond issue 23, which I actually did cover Batman Beyond issue 22 on my review on comicbookcore.com, and you can check that out here. I know that Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis, is dealing with the new Scarecrow, which I believe is a lady Scarecrow. Not to spoil it, but I believe it was on the cover for last week's issue anyway, and there she is right there as well. Yeah, so let's see what happens. I actually didn't review it this week. I actually did review another issue, but I do have that here, so I will talk about that then. Okay, the next book that I got is Justice League Dark issue 2 from James Tynion IV. I haven't actually read the first issue. I'm a little bit back on my reading for my comic books, but I did finally read the last issue 2 to 5 or 6 of Justice League. I'm fully caught up on Justice League. I can't believe that I let that one slip at all, but I had a lot going on. But I'm fully caught up on Justice League. I'm going to read probably 1 and 2 of this right on top of each other so I can get the full story so far for Justice League Dark, but we'll see what's going on with Wonder Woman, Zatanna, Swamp Thing, Man-Bat, and Detective Chimp in Justice League Dark. Okay, the next book that I also got today is actually the last book in Brian Hill's run of Detective Comics. That is Detective Comics number 987. I actually have not read any of Brian Hill's run yet, which I hear people say it's tremendous, and I know that Katana and Black Lightning have been very heavy within this storyline, and Cassandra Cain, I believe, is involved in it as well. But now that this is the final issue, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna read the entire Brian Hill run, which is like 6 comics, I believe, maybe 7, and see what happens. Yeah. Alright, so the next book that I got is Batman King of Fear #1. This is 1 of 6 in a new miniseries of Batman. This is the book that I did a review from on comicbookcorpse.com. You can check out my review here. I think the book is very tremendous so far. The story is a little simple and straightforward and kind of a little bit predictable, but it is still enjoyable at the same time. But the artwork is very good, as it is the classic artwork of Kelly Jones, who is a former Batman artist. Just to give you a little bit of a glimpse, I mean, there's the Joker right there. I don't know how much of this, but yeah, you can see here, this is like the classic art style of Batman. Batman does have like this kind of look to him with the gray, with the blue suit and the very pointy ears. I do actually like that a lot. This book is a lot of fun, and it is an old school homage to the way things were done in the past, both with the art style of Kelly Jones and Scott Peterson wrote this book as well. It's a very good book. I definitely recommend it, especially if you grew up on the older style of comics from the late 80s, the 80s, and the 90s. Yeah, or if you're even new to comics and you want to kind of see how things used to be done a little bit, I also recommend reading it here for that same reason. Like I said, you can check out my more detailed review on this book that I did for comicbookcorpse.com. And yeah, look at the other reviews on the channel as well. Or not the channel, but the website, as there's a lot of great people there and a lot of people who contribute. And our editor is very amazing, as she does a great job. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot of work to do and run a website like that. Either way, the next book that I got is Action Comics number 1002. I've been getting this, I forget the exact artist's name, but I've been getting his artwork on Action every time he does it, because I like this like watery paint kind of look to it. It looks really great. I really enjoy it. I think it looks awesome. So I have all of those. Superman, written by Brian Michael Bendis. It's been pretty decent so far. It all kind of spins out of Man of Steel, and you got Superman and Supergirl, and they're kind of dealing with similar issues. This, I believe, Action is the one that is more like grounded and focusing on like Clark Kent's life a little bit more in the Daily Planet, and then Superman's the one that's dealing more with like Rugal-Zar and the fallout of Man of Steel more directly, and with Lois and Jonathan and Jor-El being in outer space on this quest, and then Kara in her book is also in outer space on her quest to find out more about Rugal-Zar and who really killed Krypton. So the 3 books kind of do work together a little bit there, and who knows exactly where they all place, because you also have the stuff that's happening in the Snyder Justice League run. So I'm not exactly sure where all of it kind of falls together. That's always one of those things we had to, as fans, figure out after the book's release, as we kind of look at all of them and be like, alright, this book happens before this one and this one here, but this actually happens right before that, and sometimes they don't all actually work in together. But either way, that's Action 1002 of, Superman Action. Alright, the next book that we got is my favorite book from DC Comics and DC Rebirth in general, and that is The Flash issue 53, written by Joshua Williamson, and we do have a new artist on this book as well that we haven't seen. He wasn't on the last issue, I don't think. Either way, this cover is tremendous. I think it looks awesome. The Flash eating all those big belly burgers. That looks cool. That looks dope. We're dealing with the forces that are kind of awakening after Flash War, and we see that too in the Justice League as well. And, we're dealing with the Trickster, who just got the Strength Force in the last issue, as Barry Allen, the Flash, and Commander Cold from the 25th Century are battling the Trickster. The Trickster has information on Warden Wolf, but he mysteriously got access to the Strength Force. They don't exactly say how. He was kind of just like pulled into the ground, and then later on when Commander Cold and Barry found him, he had this, a new trick up his sleeve, as he said. So, we'll see what happens in this issue. Can't wait to read it. Can't wait to see what's going on within the Flash. We're kind of in a little, like, a moment in Flash where it's like, we just had the peak moment of Flash War, so we're kind of settling it down a little bit, but there is still the interesting stuff that's going on with the forces, so let's see how they expand upon that and what we can expect going forward from here. Either way, I'm Keith One Shot. I didn't do a weekly comic book haul last week because I literally just got Mighty Morphin Power Rangers from Boom Comics. I got Batman 53. I got Batwoman, I think it was 18, which was their finale, which I did a review last week for on comicbookcorpse.com. You can check that out as well. That was the series finale of Batwoman. That book was very, very good. I loved reading that. I think I talked about it on my post-crisis podcast. I actually didn't do one last week. I do hope to do one now that I'm finally caught up on Justice League. I'm going to read all of Detective, and I'm going to read... So right now all I have to do is read Detective and Justice League Dark, and I'm going to be all caught up on all of my comic book reading. And now that I have the entire Brian Hill run of Detective, I'm going to do that. Either way, like I said, this is my weekly comic book haul and a brief discussion as well. I'm Keith One Shot. Take care, have a great day, and goodbye.